Welcome to Business News. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council wants farmers and merchants of cashew nuts to prioritize local processing over exports of raw nuts. This says this will add value to the crop's value chain and even boost earnings. We have details in this report.
Nigeria is the world's sixth largest producer of raw cashew nuts. The country produces about 120,000 metric tons annually and generated 17.7 billion naira, that's about $108 million, from exports in 2013, accounting for about 10% of agriculture exports. This sounds like much until you compare with other countries that add value to the crop before exporting to markets in the European Union, the United States, and the Middle East. In 2014, Vietnam made $2.2 billion from exporting 309,000 tons of cashew nuts. The Nigerian Export Promotion Council says there is need to increase investment in cashew processing.
As of last year, the price of cashew nut, raw cashew nut, fell to about 50%, which means that a lot of farmers could not sell their product this current season, and that's affected much of the income they make. So, and what happens is that most of this cashew nut is raw. It's exported to India and Vietnam, where they process and export to the premium market in the US, in the UK, in every other place. However, we want to now say, okay, why do we have to move our products to India and Vietnam to process? Why can't we do the processing at home?
And the prices are moving up and down. You're not very sure of the quality. And all of this, as a processor, you have to live with for a whole year once you buy the nuts. Whereas as a trader, if I buy the nuts, I'm only running a risk for like a couple of days. Once I sell it to somebody else, they have to worry about that. That's one thing. The second thing is because cashew is seasonal, the working capital requirement is quite high, because if you want to process 1,000 tons this year, you have to buy everything at once and store it. So you're looking at working capital, heavy working capital requirements, and then high interest rates.
The managing director of African Cashew Alliance wants government to make and implement policies that will encourage and protect investments in the processing of the commodity.
For every 1,000 metric tons of cashew, we could be employing about 300 people in the rural communities, majority of whom are women. About 80% of all those working in the cashew factories are women. So we are exporting valuable jobs to other destinations like Asia, and then these are jobs that could be in the rural areas for women.
Industry players say cashew processing can create sustainable jobs and eventually lead to an overall increase in the value of the entire agriculture sector.
The unemployment rate rose to 27.6% from 27.1% in the first quarter of this year. Statistics from South Africa says unemployment rate climbed in first quarter as construction and financial services firms cut positions. The jobless rate in Africa's most industrialized economy hasn't fallen below 20% since year 2000, largely due to sluggish economic growth, and gross domestic product hasn't expanded by more than 2% a year since 2013. Economists say GDP must rise by 3% to 5% annually for the unemployment rates to recede. Reports say hackers have installed surveillance software on phones and other devices using a major vulnerability in messaging app WhatsApp. WhatsApp, owned by Facebook, said the attack targeted a select number of users and planned by an advanced cyber actor. The Financial Times stated that the surveillance software involved was developed by Israeli firm NSO Group. Facebook first discovered a flaw in WhatsApp earlier in May and has called on its 1.5 billion users to update their apps as a warning. WhatsApp is a secure communications app as messages are end-to-end encrypted to be displayed in a legible form on the sender or recipient's device. Traders at Asia's biggest food fair in Shanghai are concerned about rising tariffs caused by the trade war. The Asia's largest food innovation exhibition showcase companies that import food items from the U.S. to China expressed hope that a trade deal could be reached soon. As negotiations towards resolving the U.S.-China trade war stalled last week, Trump escalated pressure by increasing tariffs last Friday to 25%, from 10% on a previous $200 billion list of Chinese imports. China retaliated on Monday with higher tariffs on a revised list of $60 billion worth of U.S. products. The prospect of the global economy being derailed by the world's two biggest economies sliding into a more protracted dispute has rattled investors and sparked a sharp sell-off on equities markets in the past.